Suneera Madhani. Suneera Madhani.
Without much further ado, I'd like to welcome Suneera.
Hi, I'm Suneera Madhani, a mom of two, daughter of an immigrant, and an unlikely entrepreneur who built a $1 billion business. Yes, billion. Now I'm doing it again and building my second unicorn, Worth. Shockingly, less than 2% of female founders ever reach 1 million in revenue, and I'm on a mission to change that. At CEO School, we mentor thousands of women to help them level up in business and in life. We believe that you deserve to have it all, because honestly, nothing bad happens when women make more money. Grab a seat because class is officially in session. Welcome to CEO School. Hi everyone, welcome back to the CEO School podcast. I'm your host, Suneera Madhani, and we are here in Orlando, Florida. We're always here in Orlando, Florida, so I don't know why I'm saying that, but we are here live from Millionaire Founders Club Conference. It is our spring retreat, and we just finished an incredible session and keynote from my dear friend, Dr. Neeta Bhushan, which you know her. She's been on the show. Her book, That Sucked, Now What? We had you on the show a couple years ago when your book launched. I've been on your show, and you just finished the most phenomenal keynote. So I want to bring you guys behind the scenes of the conversations that we're having with these incredible, there's about 100 7+ figure CEOs here. Everyone is just so heartfelt, so vulnerable. The conversations are real and happening, and we decided, why not bring it live to all of you? So Dr. Neeta just got off stage. We pulled her aside, and I'm just so excited to have you.
Oh my gosh. I just wanted to say, like, yesterday when I walked into the room, obviously I was so late, and I was discombobulated.
Well, she just flew in from Dubai, y'all. So like, okay, like, and literally you flew in from halfway across the world. That was just insane.
Literally.
That's how cool like girlfriend trips are.
This is what it is, and to just be greeted with so much warmth, and everyone's introducing themselves, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I've got to get in my flow. Can't be jet lagged right now. But the amount of warmth and the fact that you know everyone's story so close, like, this is the beauty of community. And this is the beauty, and not just any community though, but like, everyone is so badass. Everyone is so down to earth. Everyone just leads with their heart, but you know, they're baddies in whatever they're doing. And then they're fabulous too. And then they, you know, they're fashionistas, and many of them are mamas. And so I'm like, wow, to be greeted like that, because I shared this on stage, not every room is like that. And you and I have both, you know,
been in a lot of rooms,
talked about those things. We've even shared, like, why is it that sometimes you go into a room and you don't feel safe? Mm-hmm. But I do want to say, it's a testament to you.
Oh,
it really is. It's a testament to, you know, your bigness, but you're also, like, you're walking the talk, and everyone is there because they feel that, they get inspired by it. You're just changing that. So if you aren't in, this is not a plug for Millionaire Founders Club, but I truly, and I'm a community builder as well. Yeah. And so I see you, and I see the big heart.
Thank you. It means a lot coming from you, because I know how special your community is, and it does. I feel so proud of this group. This has been a labor of love, like anything. Whenever you build anything, it's a labor of love. But the one thing that I always want people to feel, and I even try to do that for the show, like that's why it's in my home. Like, I want you to feel like you're coming home. Like, this is a safe space. Like, this is friends having chai, which is literally what we're doing. Having tea, having coffee, having a glass of wine, having whatever, having a tonic, like whatever works for you. But you're welcome into this space, and everybody has a seat at the table, and the table is big enough for all of us, and it's diverse and it's open, and we are truly learning and growing from each other. And this group of MFC started because I really truly felt like I wanted a place to have my own peer group, and I didn't want to have to pay massive amounts to pay for pay for friends.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I wanted to learn. I wanted to have a space where we can get together, where it was accessible. And I wanted to have like conversations that were beyond just, you know, beyond just business too. So there's like a point in business, and there's business scale. But once you're kind of past the, you know, 7-figure mark or the multi 7-figure mark,
right,
the conversations are also about lifestyle and wealth creation and time freedom and just so many other things that I wasn't getting in some of my, like for sure in the tech spaces and the bro spaces.
Right.
But even as part of like some of the other women's groups, like I just sometimes never felt that it was a very similar voice all across the table. And I love learning from all different kinds of industries or art because there's so much happening across it.
Totally. And I feel like a lot of those, like you say, like the challenges, the struggles are all the same.
Yes.
And I feel like if we aren't kind of open in those communities, or if everyone is saying the same thing because they're wearing the mask, they have the filters on, they have the thing
They
on.
don't want to share because it's either competitive, right? That was the thing that was happening.
Yes.
Or they feel like, I felt like it was gatekeeping because it was like insecurity of like, well, I'm sharing these vanity metrics, but I don't want to go behind the scenes because it's actually not where it's at. But then it causes the whole group to be like overcompensating. And so there was just... And it's not to discount. I've loved so many rooms that I've been in.
Same.
But I do feel that because there's like, it's industry agnostic. It's like everyone's still at a certain threshold. However, with that, there's no competitiveness or there's no point in me not sharing my playbook because there's no competitive nature to it. It's not,
right.
It's going to be helpful to you.
Right.
You know? And so it's just a different conversation.
It's so different. And I felt that it was just everything and everyone was just so
Everyone
warm.
is so great.
So amazing.
Yeah.
And even today on stage, it was like, I think I shared something, one of my slides. I'm like, okay, we got to create the container for safety because we're doing some crazy things. I made you guys scream.
Yes, which we're gonna unpack your section here for these ladies right now. So that was the most uncomfortable thing I have ever done, was to scream out loud for 30 straight seconds with everyone like watching.
I'm proud of you.
There
were a few in the front, and I get always the few in the front that they don't. But
no.
okay.
I did it, and it felt really great after. So I'm gonna unpack that in a second.
Okay.
But actually, I was laughing. So like I couldn't laugh at the first laughing part.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna unpack it. But I was totally like, as soon as I screamed, then I started laughing. I'm like, there's the laugh that I was looking for in the first session.
Yes,
But
of course.
Your session. Let's just go there because your session was so great. I invited Dr. Neeta because you are just, if you don't know who she is, we're going to link the last episode for you so that you can catch up on her story and the book That Sucks, Now What? But if you can kind of just take the audience, give us a little like recap and refresher on, you've written 4 books, you have a top, like literally top 50
top 50 podcasts.
health and wellness, like literally it's such a hard category.
It's a hard category. I mean, we ranked
world speaker. I'm going to brag on you for
oh
like,
my gosh, go ahead.
Like literally world renowned speaker. You own multiple businesses. You are the creator of a health institute. You've certified 3,000 women and coaches to help, their communities with health and wellness and the Dharma Institute. Like you've literally accomplished so much. And your biggest accomplishment is that you're a mom of 2.
I am.
You are the sweetest mom of 2. And we've been Insta friends for the last several years.
We have.
But she is that Insta friend that she used to live in Austin. And I go down to Austin every year for South by Southwest. She learned that and literally opened up her home to me to say, I'm actually out of town, but don't book a hotel. Come stay with me. And I'll catch you for like 10 minutes and then you can stay and sleep in my bed, like just hang out, watch
use the
TV.
pool, whatever you need.
And I'm like, that, like, this just tells you a lot about who she is. And you are that person. You flew all the way from Dubai. So you moved from LA to Austin with when you had number 2.
Yes.
And then now you are raising your children in Dubai. We need to like unpack that as well, of this international move.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, so that was the intro. So I gave your background.
You're really good at that. You're really good.
I'm a podcast host. I've been doing this for 5 years now. 5 years now. I can give an intro. She is a true, just your trailblazer, and your story is incredible. Tell us about tell us a little bit about the That Sucks, Now What?
Yeah, so I feel like, it's been a mantra. It's been a mantra that to give people, and now I've, thousands and thousands of copies. The way that it started was when I became a mama, I went through, and I don't know if we talked about it the first episode, but I went through crazy postpartum depression. And I didn't realize what that was I just thought that, my in-laws, bless them, they're, from India, they're from Jaipur. They were coming to the US for the very, very first time. So I literally went into my good girl, like had to be good girl, good daughter kind of a thing, because my backstory is I lost my parents and brother before I was 20, before I was 19 actually. And so, having this full circle, full tilt into
Lost
motherhood.
as in they passed away.
Lost as in they passed away.
All three,
within
like your
3 years.
Within 3 years, your mother,
my mom,
your father,
yeah,
your
and
brother.
my brother.
And your grandmother too. Within that,
so my grandmother actually was like 15 years later. But yeah, she raised me actually. My grandmother, my bua, my other aunt. And so I was raised by
just so tragic.
Yeah, matriarchs. But it was it was a tragic time, and of course, as the women here know at CEO school, like you take those painful parts of you and you kind of feel them forward, or at least that was my story.
May I ask what happened?
Yeah, so my mom had breast cancer and it went into her lungs, and now a lot of things that we know about Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, lungs means that's a sign of grief. And she had lost her dad a few years before. Actually, she lost a few people a few years before she got diagnosed. And then she battled that for about 6 years. And then a year after, my brother had an asthma attack at school. And so it was like you're in the grief tunnel, the grief portal. My dad, bless him, he was Punjabi, hard dad from India, losing his wife, which, to be a widow like that.
And how old were you?
I was 16 when my mom passed. So her journey of cancer kind of culminated. She transitioned, and literally it was a year. It was immediately a year after my brother passed away, and he was fine. He was, and obviously now I get into more that esoteric side, because I do believe in miracles. I believe in angels. I believe in just kind of there is another element, and that was part of my healing journey. And they were really close. And so he also had an asthma attack. Asthma also, lungs, grief, big grief.
And how old was he?
He was 15. We were 16 months apart.
Goodness, so close.
Yeah. So you and your brother remind me of mine.
That's so sad.
Yeah, so close. And then, my dad, just as a strong Indian, powerful, he was a serial entrepreneur as well, just went into deep depression. So that means I just went into, survival mode. I talked about that. And I think a lot of us do go into survival mode, right? We think we're the only one that can do everything. We're the only one that can hold the fort down. We're the only one that can. And so that was kind of the essence. And also, it took him to a very, dark place. And then he was diagnosed 2 years later with stage 4 lung cancer. Crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So grief. So this has really informed my work around understanding your emotions, understanding your emotional health, especially as high achievers. We are taught, especially as women, to disconnect our heart from our head, because, we're not going to be taken seriously if we just are from the heart, right? There's all these memes about somebody who loses their stuff in the boardroom, or you're called bitchy if you have, boundaries and you have expectations. And so I really wanted to unpack that for people. That really became my life's mission. I mean, throughout that, I became a cosmetic dentist, because that's what you do when you have tiger parents. And I think that was my first foray also into business building, because I had to hustle when I was a teenager. And
you were by yourself.
Yeah, I was by myself. I mean, granted, as Filipino Indian families, we do have large families, and I had a lot of extended family friends.
You're being so you're so brave about your story.
Thank you.
That is really hard.
Thank you.
I've always known your story, because we've talked about it, but I actually didn't connect the lung portion ever to all of that. I mean, I have chills right now. You're such a brave young woman to get, to where you are today, and now teaching so many people how to be brave. And that's your podcast is literally the Brave Table.
It's how to be brave.
How to be brave.
How to be brave, to just chart out new frontiers, to reinvent yourself, to do the hard things, to choose our hard. And I think that, that's where it starts. And so that's where that suck now what kind of became this mantra. And because, with the dualities of life, right, we're going to have the contrast. We're going to have the dark moments. We're going to have the sad moments. But boy, did I have so much joy. And I think that's what I want
That's so nice to hear.
lead with is the joy. Because we brought the joy this morning.
You did.
And while I've had the story is heavy. It's heavy. It's a lot, you guys. I think the joy piece, that's what everyone knows me as, the joy bringer, the queen of reinvention, the queen of connection. And it's because I see people as,
how are you that with that, that, and that's not even the end of the story, right? Like, I mean, I think in the last episode, I think we did talk about you leaving in the middle of the night from your ex-husband. And then you had, making decisions post, like, all of the things. It's a heavy story, and I don't want to.
It's heavy.
Yeah. Today's episode isn't about that, but how do you show up the way that you do with such joy? Because I don't know if I would be able to. Like, the smallest thing will happen, and I internalize it so much that, and that feeling of that sucks. I've lost my parent. I've lost my father. And that was really, really hard. We've all been through our own suck and our own hard, but it takes me a long time to get out of the suck.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just want to, you are really so much joy all the time. And to experience all that you experience, I don't know if I'd ever, maybe I'm not, I don't know, but how do you?
Yeah.
Now what? Tell me about the now what part of that sucks.
Well, it's the now what. So, and I talked about this on stage today. It's like we have to make room for the capacity to feel, right? Your capacity to experience joy is going to also match your capacity to feel grief. And the reason why I can say, wow, I bring so much joy is because I lived through years and years and years, probably a decade, of just grief and pushing and shoving things under a rug and then having it burst in all of the different ways, whether it be on, people I love or aunts and uncles or even my youngest brother, because I was a caretaker to my youngest brother who was 14 when we were orphaned. And so, I think that it comes out in the craziest ways. We develop these unhealthy coping mechanisms. Yeah. And honestly, for a lot of high achieving people, women, we all have this Achilles heel to overcompensate. We overwork. We try to prove. Yeah. We're proving our worth. We're constantly chugging. And then guess what? We get to, a season of our life where we can't push anymore. Either we have that accident, we get the diagnosis, something forces us to stop. We find out about the affair or whatever it is. And then we're like, oh, okay, can I find the slivers of joy in these moments where it's so painful? And that's literally what I had to do. I talk about this in the book, That's Like Now What, where when my mom was going through because for a year and a half, she was in the ICU. And we would go, literally, I was in high school and I was in Lane Tech in Chicago. And so I would come back, there was like this coffee shop and there was this like cute barista guy who also worked there after school. And we would like flirt and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm having butterflies coming to my mom, to see my mom after school in this very dreary place. But that was like a high before I got to the low. And so can we increase our capacity to feel? It's like to go there. And I don't think we allow ourselves to grieve after a breakup. I don't think we allow ourselves to grieve after, maybe a friendship loss or something terrible happens that we didn't get the promotion or we didn't, our right hand just quit on us or whatever the case is. We didn't reach the pinnacle or the KPIs that we were supposed to. We don't grieve those things. We're like, all right, the next.
And we're supposed to.
And we're taught, society tells us that we're taught to just not feel, to numb it all out. So then what do we start doing? We numb it in the form of, okay, let's swipe.
That
dopamine
really hit for me, which is the night scrolling that you talked about. So all the which ways that you think you're actually coping with it, but in ways that it's coming out unhealthy. The doom scrolling.
Oh, yeah.
When you said that, I used to be so good about leaving my phone outside of my room. And then, or even when I'd plug it into the nightstand, it'd be like on the nightstand, but I wouldn't touch it. Like I'd go into like do not disturb D&D and I'd be totally fine with it.
Yeah.
If Faisal and I wanted to watch some TV, cool, we'd watch something, but I could literally be like, I'm tired, turn it off. Like we're good.
Yeah.
But recently I noticed that because I'm back at building another startup again.
It's wild.
Yes.
How do you even do that?
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I do feel like I haven't, and then momhood and just, I feel like I'm on, like from the moment I wake up to like when I hit my head on that bed and it's like 9:00 and I get to bed by 9. So I have like kids go to bed and I put them to bed and then I'm like in my bed and I know that when my head goes down, I should go to sleep, but I'm so exhausted. I haven't had 2 minutes to myself. Yep. And then I pull up the gram or then I pull up and I was never that person. I've put limits on my phone. I've never actually been like, oh, your 45-minute time limit is up. And now I'm getting these notifications and all I'm doing is like, I'm laughing and I'm sending like my favorite part. Yeah. My favorite part of my night. And I'm the funniest friend. Like, at least I think I'm the funniest friend.
You're funny. You're really funny.
I am really funny.
Yeah.
And so I'm finding like the most hilarious shit to send to the right person. And it makes me so happy when I do. Like it does. So there's like maybe like 7 people that I constantly send stuff to. And I'm like, oh, I found the funniest one. And there's like, and I love doing it. But that is a coping mechanism.
It's a coping mechanism because...
Damn it.
Yes.
Damn it.
But I feel like, well, and here's the thing. We all do it. Why? Why
Sorry,
do we do
friends. You're not going to get them anymore.
I feel like but here's the thing. It's bringing you joy. I think but
it's bringing me joy, and
it's also the
smarter.
Blue light.
Yes,
the blue light is keeping you up. The dopamine is also keeping you up.
That you're, because I haven't had 5 minutes to just have some fun.
Of course, to have fun, to let loose, to actually shake it off or dance it off,
or not think about anything else. That's what it's doing for me. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's just mindless.
It's mindless.
And I haven't had a moment. Every moment has been mindful. Mm-hmm. And so when I'm doing that, it's a moment, it's that, 30 minutes of mindlessness. And that's what my brain's craving. But that's an awful habit to have mindlessness versus so many other great habits that I could use to create mindlessness, or like to create the moments of peace.
Or even coming back home to you.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's like, that was a talk today. For the woman who does all, how do you come back to yourself?
Yes. And give some other examples before you give us the fix, because that was the one that resonated with me.
Yeah. So and then
shopping.
The shopping. Yeah. I mean, the grabbing the bottle of wine 10 p.m. when you got the bad news. It's like, I know I used to do that. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the twist cap.
Yes. And it
Pinot
feels
Noir.
good.
Feels really good. Especially when the kids are like irate and screaming their heads off. I'm like, I need a glass of wine right now.
And just the ritual.
It's the ritual.
The ritual of that, just opening. It's not even
opening. It's opening the bottle.
Opening the bottle that you're like,
a whiff.
Now I can. No, but it's like now you can relax.
Yeah, and literally your nervous system's like, because that feels familiar. It feels safe.
Yep.
It's like, oh yes, I've done this before.
I know all of you. Let's just be honest. Like, just right now, screenshot this and DM me and DM Neeta. Like,
please,
we're calling it out, but I'll be the first to accept it too. So like,
in a loving way, though.
In a loving way.
Loving way.
So what else? What were the other things that you shared?
Well, and then we emotionally dump. Dump in bursts, right? We emotionally dump and burst on the people that we love.
Guilty.
Especially like, we wake up at 5 to slay. We're going to the gym. We're doing all the things. We've got the meetings. And then by the end, we come home. We're so drained. We don't have any time for people we love. And then they ask you that one thing.
Yeah. That you already asked me 100 times, Faisal. I'm just kidding.
Seriously. I know. Same. And then you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You don't have space to just be kind.
You don't have your capacity. You're done.
Yes.
Your capacity is not there because you didn't fill up our reserve.
I'm sorry, Faisal. I love you. And my kids sometimes too.
My kids, same. I'm like,
or you lose your patience.
Oh, you lose you lose
my
everything.
6-year-old she's a child. She requires a lot of eye-to-eye contact. And if I'm not looking her, she's like a quality time person. She wants to do the activity. She wants to do the doing. She wants to do the crafting.
Yep.
Like for her, it's not like going for, like, it is doing the thing is important to her. With her.
Yep.
That requires energy.
And patience. And just, and
some days I don't have it.
Same. So we lose our fuse, we lose our shit, and then we yell at them. So we dump, and then also we're emotionally eating, right?
Yeah.
Chocolate, ice cream.
Yes.
the late night snacking. I feel like I would always late night snack, and there was
We
a
need
time.
to for sure do like a poll of this,
Who's
like
doing a late
screenshot
night snack?
this.
What was your vice?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your vice?
What's the vice? Okay, luckily I'm not a sweets person, but I'm a
Okay.
salty person for sure.
Yeah.
So if I'm snacking, it's for sure like after
Is it
10
like
p.m.
chips, or
yeah,
is it
it's
like-
spicy chips.
Okay.
Like it's Indian. Do you know this brand
Do you know
Slim's?
Namkeen?
Yes,
We have
the
Namkeen.
Nimco.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, they're so salty and so spicy.
Yeah, my husband loves those.
I
And
love those.
I know, but it's like fried and all that
No,
bad
no.
seed
I know-
oil. Oh.
I know. It's not good. It's not
not
exactly.
good.
It's not
It's not
often.
good.
It's not often.
No,
but
I know,
if it's
but
that,
that's-
if it's the thing that I want,
Well,
it's that thing that
In
I
every
want.
brown house, they do have it like in the center table of whatever
It's just
thing.
spicy.
It's there.
I'll tell you what it is. It's like those like mini potato sticks that they put on like burgers and hot dogs. Like, you know, which are like the little
true.
tiny ones. I'm looking at Lily to confirm, my podcast manager. Okay. It's that, but imagine that like just like tossed in chili like it's just like spicy. It's like
so
hot it's like hot
spicy.
Cheetos. It's
Yeah.
like the Indian hot Cheeto.
No, it's hot Cheetos.
yeah. It's just garbage. But
And
okay,
maybe even
but
worse than
sweets.
the
People love sweets. People love
yeah.
okay, so all of those
Well,
things
because
we're
it's
doing.
coping mechanisms, right?
We're doing all the things. I do want to know what you're doing because we don't have to feel bad about it. It's just what's happening. But
Yeah.
Dr. Neeta's going to give us how do we stop this? So the now what? So
Now
we're stressed.
what?
It's rightful. So you're not crazy. So that is what we'll validate. You're not crazy. I'm not crazy.
We're all not crazy. We're
not
all,
crazy.
We're not terrible. We're amazing
just working
humans.
hard.
We're doing the best that we can, right? We're
Yes.
doing the best that we can with the tools that we have. And quite honestly, you all have we've all the tools that I taught today. It's not something magical. It's not something that you've never heard of before. It's
It was
like
good.
would you do it?
Let's do
That's
it.
the thing.
Okay.
Okay. So the first is when we are we're losing our shit. We have an emotion. Something didn't go our way. Something didn't go as planned. You know, there is a mantra to say. You can actually say, that sucked, now what? When we actually suppress that emotion and suppress the resentment, suppress the anger, suppress
So accept it. Say that sucked.
sucked. Yeah, just say
it.
that sucked.
That sucked.
That sucked.
That
That
sucked.
sucked. And we can even acknowledge it, right? So studies have shown this when we say the thing out loud that we are experiencing. I'm feeling sad that thing didn't go as planned, or I'm feeling jealous right now because I saw that they got funded and I didn't, right? We're voicing it. So we talked about this today is if we are not voicing the things that are in our head, we're ruminating.
Okay.
And all of that pressure is building in our head. And then
So
guess
get it
what?
out.
We got to get it out. And I guarantee you, even if you just do that, super simple, you will feel better. It's like
Or journal it or write it.
journal it, write it, send a voice note. I love this, and I didn't share this on stage, but I usually do. It's you send a voice note to your friend. How many of us do the long
Yeah.
voice notes?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, hey, but send it to yourself. If you are an orator, if you like to talk and share, and you probably don't want to share this with a friend, maybe not, maybe you do. Record yourself on your voice notes. And the voice note app, just record it and say, I am feeling like shit right now. That's it. And just feel it. The second reset that we talked about was having self-compassion for yourself. Because a lot of times when we're traveling by yourself, when we're navigating life and like building careers and businesses solo, which it happens, it can be very lonely. 1 in 3 report being lonely in the US. It's insane. And also anxiety. And
You said 1 in 3 women right now are diagnosed with going through anxiety.
Going through anxiety, depression,
1 in
loneliness.
3.
1 in 3. I mean, it's insane. I mean, or we're not even able to communicate, right? And we're just having these low vibe, low funky feelings, and that's a whole other topic to unpack. But we can actually put our hand over our heart and just like, if you actually have that touch and connection. Some of us actually are wired by touch. We're mammals, and we're as women, we need to have that touch, that embrace. And I used to do this a lot because I grew up without my parents, to just, hug myself, hug a stuffed animal. Even when my kids in their mindful corner that we have in the house, we literally have stuffies. And sometimes when I have the pillows and we're just like, okay, let's cuddle and let's hug. I literally have a room in my home and in my office, I have I literally have pillows, some for throwing, for my rage practice, which we'll get into, but then some for just, you want that cuddle, but literally, and there's science to this, if you put your hand over your heart, you keep it there for 30 seconds. Maybe you guys can do this right now. You will actually activate your oxytocin. And the best part is if you are working with someone else, you can actually give them a hug.
Give them a hug.
And not the pats on the back that you go when you go to the bro conferences or any of those conferences, and they're like, nice to see you. Or when I go to London, I get that a lot of like, oh yes, just like the fake hugs. No,
real hug.
I don't like the fake hugs. We're not in for the. I'm like chest to chest.
I need a hug.
Like full embrace. Just like get in there, nuzzle them in there, and you. Like, how good did you feel after?
So good. We all hugged it out. It was so
Everyone
special.
hugged
we
it
just
out.
Hugged, and
I wanted to get really crunchy and get everybody in a circle, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, Suneera is going to be like, what are you doing?
No, we did get really crunchy. You made us all scream.
I did. We did. Yeah, we did.
It was weird. It was weird. We was weird.
Okay, which is reset, I think, number 3?
So there's breathing. We did breathing.
So we were breathing.
That was good. I like that one.
The breath of fire, the pranayama. I mean, if you've ever been to a yoga class, you've probably done this, but we don't. And here's the science behind it. So when we have that dry heaving cry, like the cry that we just don't want to do, when we're actually crying, we're releasing cortisol, and cortisol is our stress hormone. So think about this again the next time you want to hold back your tears, the next time somebody is telling you something really hard, or maybe you see somebody else crying in front of you and you just want to hold it together. That is your stress hormone wanting to leave your body. You're releasing that cortisol. So guess what happens when you actually allow yourself to cry? After that, and you have the cry after you have a breakup or a friend breakup or something bad happens, and you're just like the dry heaving, that's literally breath of fire. And that's calming down your nervous system. Your body is saying, okay, let's release it. Let's get it out. Let's get it out.
I'm thinking of all the ways that we talk to our kids, right? Of don't cry. Like let them cry.
Oh yeah, no.
Let them scream.
Of course, let them cry. They are the best at navigating their emotions. Yeah. We just tame them down. And why do we do that? It's because we were never given permission to do that as well. I know growing up in a brown, Filipino Indian family, it was like, you are not screaming right now. Get it together. Go to your room or whatever it was. Don't cry. And I think a lot of us, and no shade on our parents, they were just doing the best that they could. But now that we have these tools, why not use them? And why not allow yourself the release? Because how good did it feel after we did that?
Yeah, we did the breath work. That was great. And then we did two unique ones. We did laughter, which I really liked that at first.
Good.
You were first I was like, what is happening?
You're like,
she was like, just
crazy.
laugh it out. And she did sound crazy on stage. And then it made me laugh. Watching you laugh with your belly made me laugh. Then it made the woman next to me, we were all laughing at laughing. It was so funny, just laughing together.
It was
fun. It was it actually happened. And in the beginning, it was so tense to be like, oh my God, this is so weird to just laugh. What am I going to laugh about? It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a funny thing.
No,
it
I
was
just literally
just
said,
were
go
let's
laugh.
Go laugh.
I did play a song though.
You did. You played the chicken. What is it? Chicken banana. Chicken banana. Yeah. That was ridiculous.
Well, my kids love that. So anytime they're feeling real, and hacks for you mamas out there, anytime they're feeling really anxious these days, because in Dubai we're driving 30 minutes back and forth, I literally play that song. Everyone's hysterical in the car. And then my 6-year-old's like, chicken banana. And now they have props. Now they have their sunglasses. So it is the funniest thing. And my daughter, she's the 3-year-old, so she's giggling it up. And of course that's going to make you laugh. So laughter, you know what that does is it opens up your vagus nerve. Our vagus nerve is responsible for allowing us to rest and digest and come back and calm our nervous system, because we're in that fight or flight trying to make all these decisions in our day. And then we're not breathing because we're breathing shallow.
Which I thought was so interesting. So share that part where and I'm like, that's so true.
Well, yeah, when we are so stressed, when we have the hundreds of things to do, and I'm guilty of this too. When I was preparing, for this, I was in New York yesterday and had all of these podcasts, jumped on a plane, already jet lagged, literally made my flight 10 minutes before they closed the door at LaGuardia. And then I get to, the scene and I'm like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that big release. I don't think I breathed today. Like my breathing was just like in my neck. And then do you wonder why, like, I don't know, after a really long day, your shoulders are just like, it's up, your shoulders are like up to your ears. And then you're like, why am I so tense and sore? Oh, it's because we just haven't like straightened our backs to put our shoulders back, because we aren't even breathing in our belly. And I had everybody touch their navel because I've also been doing voice lessons. And so now there's another reason. Voice lessons. I mean, I'm not coming out with an album or anything, but like it's so for me. But I think as speakers, it's really helpful. And why am I sharing this about singing? Well,
I got distracted with that.
It also resets our nervous system. It resets our nervous system. It brings us back. So when we're jamming on old school, I mean, I was a 90s R&B, hip hop, like End of the Road, like Backstreet Boys, like all of that. You know, you feel instantly better. So we have all these tools, we don't use them. But when we're singing, we're also breathing from our belly. When you're doing it right. If you're singing from here, like then you're just completely off chord, because you're breathing from your chest. And that's why when you go to a yoga class or anything, when we breathe, and try it, like take a deep breath into your belly, open up your diaphragm, and just like fill your air up. A lot of us women were taught, suck in your stomach, don't breathe. And we have to, because then when we're even speaking from a place of power, it's not coming from our chest, it's coming from literally our guttural sense, which is our gut. Our gut makes a lot of those decisions. So it's all connected. So yeah, oh gosh,
so breathe. Take big breaths, right? So, and that makes sense what you were saying. You're like, when we're making decisions all day, we're like here, up in our chest. When we slow down, it's coming from our whole body.
It's coming from our whole body. We're literally oxygenating all of our cells. And I don't know about you, but when we're kind of go, and we're only breathing from here, I don't know, at the end of the day, do you just feel like, what the heck happened? I need another pick-me-up. I need another coffee. I need something. Like, I'm just so on edge. Coffee, tea, chai. But try it. Try to take those. Suneera's like, you are calling me out in all.
No, I love this. I'm aware though. I'm aware.
Of course. And that's the thing. We're all aware, but we forget. And so that's why I had everyone just put your hand on your belly, because
Lily, just take this. I'm going to give this to the podcast manager. Just take my caffeine. I'm just going to breathe. Just come in the shot. There you go. Thank you. I'm going to let my belly out.
Let our belly out. Give it some space.
Okay.
And when we are exhaling longer than our inhale, so if we're inhaling by 4 counts, and if we hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we exhale for 8. We can start to allow our heart rate's going to come down. We already come back to our body. Let's do that again. So breathe in for 4. 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and release for 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you've just activated your parasympathetic, which means that you've just allowed your body to come into that rest and relaxation.
I feel like I'm in. It's so quick.
It's so quick. It's a minute. It's a minute.
It was so quick. I feel so relaxed. Like, it really does, and I know that.
I know, and we just forget. We don't do it. We're like, the phone. It's easier. The phone's easier. And that's the thing. Is there a way to bake it into and this is what I call them, micro and pockets of resets in your day? Like, can you have that pocket of reset for just laughter? Can you have that pocket of reset if you're going to hum in the car, right? And I do this with my kids, buzzing and humming. It's the same thing. Buzzing, humming, and singing, same thing, activates your vagus nerve. Try it. It's going to be great. Oh, and the last one, of course, we did was movement. Stomping like a dinosaur, dancing, twerking, shaking, moving your hips, and there is science to this, because when we move our hips, when we dance, literally tribal, in tribal communities, they have the drum beats. And there's a reason why they use specific drum beats. And you'll see this. And, if you go to Africa, Kenya, in, Tanzania, I mean, they have all of these, and everyone is so happy. Why? Because there is a specific frequency that they're using to create that noise that allows us to just, we're vibrating, right? And vibrating, shaking, we're removing all of that stale and stuck energy out of our body. So, hips don't lie, like Shakira says. There's some truth to that.
I love that.
There's some truth to twerking. There is.
I know. I watched your page. Not your page, but Sahara's page.
And she's the queen of that. And so, but there is that truth, because yes, we can say whatever we want about it, but dancing does evoke joy. It evokes, the dopamine, the oxytocin, the serotonin, the endorphins, the dose. And that's the hormones that we can create, the chemicals, the good juju, where we don't need all of those unhealthy coping mechanisms.
Oh my goodness. And you didn't give us the stomping we did, which that was fun. And then the screaming.
Yes, of course. The rage
I feel like I can't wait to do that, because I feel that way where I'm like, in so many moments, but you don't let it out.
No, because we
hold it. Yes.
We hold it.
I definitely will clench my fist or want to scream. And then I'll just not.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to scream.
Well, in traditional Chinese medicine, even in Ayurveda, and you all can look this up as well, when we are holding in our anger, if we do it too much, well, where is it going? It's going into
inside
certain organs. And certain organs are, like, if lungs are, unresolved grief, then for anger, it's usually the liver, the kidneys. So... And this is why a lot of us we're all in detoxing mode now. You might have a liver that's sluggish, or you might have for me, when I was completely burnt out, I would get these rashes through my skin. So, it'll manifest in certain parts of your body.
Just scream. Just do it.
Scream.
Middle of the day,
yourself.
In the office.
You know what I do if you're in the office? Because I talk to...
In public.
I talk to companies about this. So they... not at Publix. But grab your...
Should be accepted.
I literally have one of those tiny little
releasing.
pillows. No, you have your tiny pillows. You scream into a pillow. And we literally have this while we're in the car, even with my kids. I've taught them how to do this. We even throw, we have extra paper in the car. And so this is what happens. We're we crumble the paper up, and then we're throwing it. Because then, of course, the anger turns into silliness, and then everyone's laughing.
Yeah.
So
that's what happened. That's what happened. So we started to scream. We 87
screamed.
women in a room downstairs, conference room.
Yeah.
In the business, in a big hotel here.
I thought we were going to get kicked out.
I 100% was so stressed out for those 30 seconds. It was doing the opposite. We were screaming, and some of them were really enjoying it. Okay.
They were stomping.
There were some that were a little too much. I'm like, girl, you've done this. You do this a lot. Don't just be I'm not doing this.
Or it's we were giving them permission to just.
I know. And then some were okay, I can do this. I can do this. Some were just okay, we'll do the stomping like me. I was like, this shit is weird. And then I was just worried to get kicked out. 30 seconds was so long. And then I just started laughing. So it actually came into silliness for me, because I was like, this is so ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
And I could see where that's really helpful to do. And I would be more open to doing it in a pillow.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try that.
Well, that's what a lot of my corporate girlies, they're I bring my pillow that I sit with on my desk, and I take it to the bathroom when somebody has said something. And there you go. Or squeezing, you take a towel and you're just squeezing it. Same thing, but you're releasing the energy in a healthy way instead of,
so many
letting it out on people.
I know it's actually, so it's finding these pockets of whatever works for you. Right. Yeah. So whatever, there's so many tools that you gave us. They were so great. And I really like the stat that the one that really stuck out for me was laughter. Yeah. Because I love to laugh.
Oh yeah.
I love to laugh.
Yeah. So kids giggle 300 to 400 times
a day.
And adults only do it 10 to 12. How sad are we?
So
10
sad.
to 12 times. And That's so sad.
It really is. It is so sad.
Well, because we take ourselves so seriously and we take everything so seriously. So I wonder if instead we get stuck in the suck, if we, you can put on a clip or two, some of the memes you share with your besties.
Yeah.
That's why your besties need those memes. Done.
Okay, so the doom scrolling can work. Just if I'm doing really funny memes. I do laugh out loud. So when I do watch them, I'll laugh out loud.
Okay,
But
see, that's good.
These tools are so helpful and such a great reminder for all of us as busy moms, busy entrepreneurs. Like, there's so many decisions to make all day long. I do feel a little crazy at the end of the day, and I feel guilty then when I'm like not perfectly there and I want to be, and just finding these little pockets through the day is something that I promise, Neeta, I'm going to start prioritizing. I'm going to report back to you.
Please do.
I'm going to report back to you and say, okay, how has the scrolling been at night, or how are the wine cravings been better? I do know 100% that like when my work is stressful, because I had a period where for 2 years or about a year, where I had this crazy, like I went from like a super executive workload of like 80 hours a week, like nonstop doing all the things, to where it stopped. Like I exited the company, and then I was like in building mode, but I had more freedom of time. Like it was like the best year of my life.
But you did take that time off.
It was like 6 months of real time off. Like but it wasn't that much time off until we were building again. It was short lived, but I was truly like,
You enjoyed that
Yes, I was
time.
stress free. Like you could really tell my body. Like that's when my health journey started.
Yep.
Finally the weight started coming off. Like just naturally. Like just things were just sinking for me.
the cortisol was
yes,
just
my cortisol.
dropping.
I literally dropped 7 pounds after my exit within 8 months, not of changing anything.
Wow.
And I literally feel like it was 100% just cortisol. Just like going into like the day to day of office life or just startup life.
And the cortisol actually makes us more hungry, especially at night. So of
Yes.
course, then if that's already your coping
All the
mechanism,
things.
it's going to just keep adding up.
So I do know that like, and then that period of like where now I'm back and now I'm like full, but I'm more conscious of it now. And I appreciate these tools because I have better coping mechanisms. And now, so do you, thanks to Dr. Neeta. So
Yay.
yes, that sucked. And that's important to acknowledge, to release, to not keep it inside. That just makes a lot of sense.
Of course.
That's what they should teach us as parents. Like, I don't know,
Literally.
like let them be.
Yeah, let them be.
Yes. Like let them do it.
And I think if we have issues about our kids crying or letting
It's on us.
out, it is us. It's our stuff. It's our stuff, and we have to clear it. We've got to clear
it's because we're so exhausted because we're not releasing it, and now we're like mad at them for releasing it.
Yeah, exactly. They're just our mirrors. You know, they're going to reflect back on what we need to.
No,
do for
I
ourselves.
love all of these tools. I'd love to hear from all of you what tools you are going to find little pockets of, and if you haven't read That Sucked, Now What? Adopt this mantra, get the book. I'll be sharing everything onto the podcast. But before I end it here, you moved to Dubai.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Crazy of all the things.
I can't wait for you to come and visit.
I can't wait. I went to Dubai. I've been to Dubai many times in my life.
You've spoken. You've been
I've
there.
done. I've
Do you
done.
have family there?
I don't have. I have some family, distant family that's there, but I used to go as a kid because I did have close family that lived in Dubai when Dubai was like up and coming and, you know, just growing. And so I've had many wonderful memories in Dubai, and it's so fun and so bougie and so flashy and all the things. But I want to talk about your, like, what's next for you? So you've written 4 books, you're, you know, taking a step back from like the, you know, doing all the coaching in Dharma Institute, all this stuff. You moved to Dubai and you're like, I'm starting a new venture and I want to hear
starting
about
a new venture.
Yes.
Well, it's helping women come back to these rituals to reset in their day. And you know, I love chai.
You do.
I love chai. I obviously geek out with all of the superfoods and the functional adaptogens. And so I'm like, there's not one company that does it so that we can bring back ritual in our day for the busy go-getting mama. So I've birthed Chai Tonics. It's actually in the works, but Chai Tonics is a luxury Ayurvedic, functional Ayurvedic wellness brand where we are doing powdered chai to support women in every season and stage of their life. So, because I think that when we're getting into, you know, fertility, right, we start thinking about our hormones and all of these things, and if we have PCOS or like infertility. And did you know that Shatavari is a Ayurvedic hormone that supports women and in every season and stage of their life? So just certain things of like brain fog and how ashwagandha supports that. So I've been tinkering a lot with my own chai, and that's how I've made it for many years. I've also used chai as a ritual and a reset to reset my nervous system, especially when my babies were little. I wouldn't meditate, but I would like crush the herbs to make my chai, and that was my 7-minute ritual. And for people who've been following me for a while, they know that, and they've seen the recipes, and they've seen that, and I'm like, there's something here.
It makes sense. It makes sense. And I want like there's so much knowledge and history in Ayurveda, right? Like now as educated as we've become, like I want to have cleaner products. I want to heal through natural ingredients and not through medication. Well, and so if there's natural things for hair growth, for anxiety, or for hair loss.
Yes.
You know, and that's something like I do know, like my mom always has a remedy for something.
She's probably been hair oiling
rosemary
years.
oil.
Yes.
She'll create these really cool tonics for
you
my
to drink, right?
Yes, or when we're sick, right? With turmeric and with ginger. And there's so much science in this ancient history of Ayurveda that I think it's the right time. And I love chai tonics. I'm so excited for this.
Thank you.
Yes.
I know, stepping into CPG world, and
we've got you. We've got an army full of awesome businesswomen that can support that CPG growth.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
I'm ready to learn all the things because honestly, I've done, all the things with books and digital products. Physical products, though,
it's going to be great.
This is different, but I'm excited.
Every bit, I'll give this advice to you as I would to any woman doing business.
Please.
It doesn't matter the product, whether you're a product-based company, you're a service-based company, you're a coach, whatever it is, business fundamentals are the same.
Yeah.
So you can apply those same business fundamentals. You've already scaled multiple companies. You've taken them to multi-millions. Like this is the same exact thing. The playbook is the same. The ingredients are a little different. Yeah. Right? Like
ingredients are different.
Ingredients are different, but it's still the same recipe, and you've got that recipe. So that chai, let's bring it back to the chai recipe.
Bring it back to the chai.
I am so glad that we got to do this, and I want to say hi to the Brave Table audience because I know that they're listening here too.
They are listening.
And I was on your show not too long ago, and so I know you got a chance to hear my story, but I'm sure you're learning again from Neeta. So welcome to the Brave Table audience that's listening today, and to all of our audience. We're so excited. I hope you guys all took away something. I'm going to go practice. I'll report back, and we'll see you guys next time on the CEO School. Bye, everyone.
Woo!